Hi, my name is Carly, and I'm a program manager here with Junior Achievement of North Florida. So glad you're here today for the third part of our series for high school students focused on learning about entrepreneurship. So we want to know what it takes to develop and start your own business. And today's focus is on who's my customer and really starting to understand the market that you need to cater towards for your product or service. So we are in each session highlighting all of the elements of a successful startup. So we started in the first session about making sure that you're an informed entrepreneur, that you know about the content and the information needed to start your business, and then that you have the right product so that you are selling the product or service that best suits the needs of your community and that also matches your interests and skills. So today we're talking about having the right market or the right customers to make sure that your business is going to cater to people who are going to want to buy it. So as we dive into that today, you're going to need a few resources. Please make sure you have the handout that was listed for this session. And you'll also need some paper, whether that's just some scratch paper, computer paper, colored pencils or pens or crayons, anything that'll be kind of a basic art supply so that you can draw something as we go along. Okay. So research has shown that one common trait among successful entrepreneurs is a passion for their customers, which we also refer to as their market. Entrepreneurs are intent on knowing and meeting the needs of their customers, and those who do so are the most successful. So let's say, for example, right now we're facing a pandemic, and a company like Zoom, they know their customer. Their customer wants to still connect with people. So they are spreading as much information about their programs as possible, making a free basic version and affordable versions for longer calls or calls with more people. So they really know their customer and how to meet their needs. So one way to analyze a particular market is to discover their wants and needs by conducting a generalized study of that group. And when we're talking about like a certain group of people, we call that a demographic. That's a group who share characteristics of a human population segment used to identify consumer markets. So we can think about if you have a product, what ages and types of people will use it, what demographic, and then how do we serve that demographic with our product. And when we are trying to then sell that product to our identified consumer market, we have to use marketing. That's the means by which a product or service is made known or sold to its customers. So as an entrepreneur, you select a demographic that you're going to be supporting. And right now, what I'm going to have you all do is select a demographic to analyze. You're either going to choose a demographic that you're a part of or one that you know well enough to determine its possible wants and needs. So that could be the students at your school. It could be the teachers and staff at your school. It could be parents who have teenagers, could be members of a sports team or school's athletes or members of a club. Again, it doesn't have to be those, but someone or a group of people that you're a part of or that you really know well will work best for this. So think for a moment and feel free to pause this video and come back and join us once you've thought of what demographic group you're going to use for this activity. Okay, now that you have your market determined, I want you to think about what that market or that demographic does at each time of the day and what unmet needs and wants might develop throughout that day. We're now going to go to the handout, and this is where you can list this information. You can type it directly in here. So once you have your demographic, I want you to think about all of the things that that person does during the day and write down any unmet needs and wants that develop. So let's say, for example, I had picked students in a high school. Well, I know that maybe a need or a want that develops throughout the day at my school could be that I really want a different option for lunch and I have some extra cash. I don't like my cafeteria food. Well, that's a want that I want, a want for me. So maybe as an entrepreneur, I could think about a company or a service that does a food truck for students. You might have to get that passed by administration, but that's just an idea. So I want you to pause this video and take about 5 minutes to brainstorm some ideas in this section. Once you have a few ideas, go ahead and unpause and join us again. Okay, so let's scroll down. So we're also going to think about how our consumers or our customers, they're motivated to purchase products and services by both logical and personal needs. So their logical needs are those that most people recognize as necessary to survive and thrive. So things like safety, health, transportation. And when a consumer makes a purchase based on logical needs, she or he is able to consciously defend the product or service as safe, durable, or economical. It seems like they have to buy it. It makes sense for them to buy it, and it's something that's practical. Personal needs are those that most people consider optional for survival, but which an individual believes as necessary to thrive. This belief can sometimes be unconscious, and that's the power of marketing. So examples are things like having fun, something that they're proud of, that they're prideful of, comfort, romance, and acceptance. Sure, we love to be accepted and have something that can help to make us feel accepted, but not necessarily needed to thrive. Essential, but still things that we might consider necessary. So when consumers make a purchase based on personal needs, they may not be able to logically defend it as necessary to survival, but consciously or unconsciously, they could claim specific benefits they perceive as necessary. Maybe it offered more leisure time, better status, or a higher quality of life, for example. So I want you to consider the selected demographic group you made before, and I want you to brainstorm any logical or personal needs that could be served by potential products or services, and write your ideas in the space below. So for example, what are some logical needs that students would need? I know, for example, that they need things to keep them safe. So they need shelter or they need food. Personal needs might be they need things to be able to have fun, or maybe they get really worried and they need a certain toy or item to relax. I want you to go ahead and jot down some things, some ideas that you have that could help you to think about potential products or services. Take about 5 minutes, pause the video, and then come back and join us. All right, so we're going to join back with the group. I hope you thought of some good potential ideas when you're thinking about your market. So now you're going to decide on a product or service that will be offered to a specific demographic. Remember, these products and services have to be legal for people 18 years or older and could be made with resources available currently. What I want you to do is use your paper and colored pencils or pens or whatever you're working with to represent your product or service. If you have other objects in your house, like pipe cleaners or an object that would help you to create your product, feel free to use that. But it'll just be a good basis to have some paper and pencils. You're going to prepare an advertisement to sell your product or service to a specific demographic. So imagine this was popping up on Instagram or social media, or pretend like this was a billboard or a commercial on TV. What would you want it to look like? Make sure you consider your demographic group that's being targeted in your presentation and that their needs are being met and targeted by your product or service. So think about those things that you listed as your logical needs for your and personal needs for your demographic. And your advertisement should be at least 30 seconds to 1 minute. We would love to see them too. If you have one and you can share it with us at JANFL, we have our email address listed on our website, and we'd love to see your advertisement. But if not, serves as a great way to get you thinking and get creative. So plan to spend about 10 minutes on creating this. All right, go ahead and press pause and have fun making your advertisement. All right, so to wrap it up, a successful entrepreneur carefully considers his or her market. Have a great day.